This here is my 2006 Acura TL. It's a Canadian model with navigation, and I'm going to show you how to install the USA SPEC BT45 Bluetooth module. So Canadian models don't actually come with an XM tuner in the trunk, so you're going to have to install the Bluetooth module behind the radio unit. So I'll just show you that we don't have an XM unit. So in order to pull this liner back, you're going to want to pop this off. So this just pulls up. Just grab each end and just pop it out. So now once you have that out of the way, you're going to have this tab that you can pop out, and you're going to want to unscrew this one. Just a screw. Pop this out. You're going to have to unscrew this one, as well as this one. There's also one up here. Pull the trunk liner back. There's a little cutout here for this thing. You'd squeeze right here, but I'll try my best. So right there. There should have been an XM tuner where that circle is. Behind the circle, there's nothing there. So if you did have an XM tuner right in that location, you would just plug and play that Bluetooth thing into the trunk. So just remove those 5 screws and just pull this back, and you'll be able to plug it in through the XM tuner in the back. This is what we're going to be installing, the USA SPEC BT45 HON3. It just says the list of vehicles here that are compatible with it. Mine is an 06, so there's all radios, so this should work here. But I actually did contact USA SPEC myself by email, and they said since mine is a Canadian model, it might not be compatible. So we'll see about that. I read some stuff online, other people working, so it's a small package here. The wiring harness, an instruction manual, and the actual module. This thing feels really cheap. So there's a mic, USB, aux is I think where the the harness that comes with it plugs into this. This is probably for buy accessories on their website, I believe. USB and aux probably plugs into that. I think I'll have to look at the instruction manual for this, because you're supposed to flip them in a specific way so it actually works. We're going to take apart some of center console materials so we can gain access to the back of the radio in order to plug that in. There's 2 methods. You can take apart the entire center console and remove the head unit, or you can just go to the left hand side and you can just remove portions of the left hand side, and you'll gain a small access point to the back of the radio where you can actually plug it in. So I have an FM button, AM, CD, and tape. I do not have an XM or a satellite button, so this will install into the back of the radio through the CD port, which is actually accessible behind this panel right here. You don't have to remove all this stuff and then remove the radio, and we won't be able to display the music that is playing, but it will be playing, and I believe that we can retain the steering wheel controls. You can grab one of these things, plastic removal tool, pry tool, whatever. You can use a screwdriver as well, but it will likely damage the materials here because they're kind of soft, so I would recommend a plastic pry tool if you don't want to destroy your stuff. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to move this armrest back. So we'll flip it up, and now we want to pop off this trim piece here. Extends all the way to the top, so all the way until here. I'm going to start from the bottom here. Stick your pry tool underneath here. They're just held in by tabs. Push it in, snap it out, and just do that along panel piece while pulling up. Hold this part, pull this part toward the rear of the vehicle. See, they're just held in by clips here. Clip, clip here, clip, clip, and clip. So once you get that piece off, move over to the right hand side. There we go. And now you're going to have this rubber mat at the bottom. You're going to want to remove that. And as you can see here, there are 2 screws here. Remove that. Okay, so once you removed the screws, you're going to want to remove these screws here along the trim. This one there, and one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to want to remove these 7 screws. Some of these are self-tapping, so they do wear out the plastic over time. So you're on the driver's side, and if you go look underneath, there is a small little screw. So I'm going to unscrew it. Housing inside. If I can do this with one. Oh, there we go. Now in my particular vehicle, as you can see right here, I have my aftermarket sound solution here. So this is actually a Bluetooth receiver that is hooked up to a harness to the back of the radio. So this allows me to connect my phone to Bluetooth and then play it through the radio through the CD button. Pop off this panel right here. This entire thing is one piece underneath the steering column. There. So once you get this thing off, it will be held in by these connectors here, these wire connectors. You're going to want to disconnect them. There's a tab at the top. There's a tab right here where my index finger is touching. There's a tab at the bottom where my index finger is. Make sure you pull the plastic connector and not the wires themselves. So once you disconnect these two from the switches over here, there's a third connector over here that you have to disconnect. And here you're going to want to remove this piece. Now in order to remove this, I don't know if you can see here, there's a screw right there. To remove that screw, it's a little tight. And it's out. There's these two tabs here that connect to the trim piece here. The hardest part is pulling out from the top part. So you just want to pull it out toward that way, and then you'll pop it out, sliding forward and downwards. There's this red tape that I put here before because I cut myself on these metal things when I tried to install the first Bluetooth receiver. So behind here, and that's where the plug for the CD behind the radio is. This is aftermarket. This is my own wire loom that I use to route the Bluetooth kit, which I'm using right now, which is this. It's right there, where my finger's touching that white connector. Right there. You want to disconnect that. Well, actually there will be something disconnected to it. Disconnect that, and you'll want to connect the Bluetooth module to piggyback off of that. Oh, hell yes. Oh my god. Okay, as you can see here, I have disconnect stupid connector. Now I can attach the Bluetooth modules. So I have successfully disconnected all my previous crap. As you can see right here, this is the OEM factory harness that plugs into the back of the radio for the CD. It's like right here. So you will have disconnected this from this part of the radio, which is extremely annoying because look how small this hole is. Anyway, so you're gonna get that plug. Here is the USA SPEC harness. You're gonna plug that male end to this female end, and then you're gonna plug this male end into the back of the factory radio. And because in my case I don't have satellite or XM capabilities or buttons on my radio, I will be following the instructions and leaving this as it is. Plug this into the Bluetooth module. Holy hell. I took apart the entire radio setup because it turns out that I never had a factory harness for the CD player. I have no idea where it is on the factory unit here. As you can see, that is what we're connecting to. This is the CD player. But There was actually an aftermarket setup in here. I pulled out all the wires. I was actually going to a wire that leads nowhere. It's not even connected. Guessing I just connected straight to this. I'm just praying this works right now because I have no other options. Found out that there's no factory wiring harness for the CD player in the back. I went ahead and removed all the aftermarket stuff there. I just went using the wire straight from the module here, and I just plugged it straight into the back of the CD unit, the radio unit, and I tested it. It works. I've yet to test calling. I unplugged the radio unit, and every time you unplug it, you're supposed to enter in a radio code. And the thing's so goddamn slow, it takes 3 minutes to let you enter a code, and it doesn't tell you on screen or anything. I was just pressing random buttons, and then suddenly beeping occurred, and I knew that I would have to enter the code. I have the code on my cell phone, so I entered it in, and then everything worked. It's so great. I think I'm gonna place the mic, instead of on the steering column here, I'm going to place it like in the little plastic trim piece by the speedometer over here in the center. It doesn't really block anything I need to see. And remove the speedometer here. It's held in by these 2 screws, I believe. So I was wrong. There's actually 4 screws that hold it in. So there's one right there, and then if you go over to the other side, see it right there. So yes, you can route it through there. That's mostly plastic down there, so it's actually really smooth and really easy to route this cable through. The mic is over here, nice and taped down. So that's where I have it right now. It's loose right now, so I can actually move it. But I have it all hooked up. The mic, as you can see right there, is hooked into the back. Routed it on the right, so the passenger side, and then back because the cable's so long. So routed it there, and now I got my bag of zip ties here. Okay, so things all zip tied down now. Trim this off, and then I'm gonna have to zip tie this mic wire here because I think it's supposed to be routed from the trunk, so they give you an extra long mic. This thing can. Oh, hell yes. Oh my God. Holy hell.